CLA. Now, Dave Evans and Terry Murray are not brothers, but they carry out their work as if they were. Let's join them now for their views on this week's Battle in the Box.
And geez, you know, I almost love Dave Evans like a brother. We've worked up here so long, Dave. It's been a great year, and a great year that everybody across BC has had a chance to watch some of the lacrosse action. And this game here, our second to last regular season game, featuring these Coquitlam Adanacs who are looking to get 2 points to stay in with Victoria. That last game of the season with Victoria and Coquitlam will be so important. That'll decide the season series between those two teams. But of more importance, North Shore trying to catch a playoff spot here tonight, Dave.
Yeah, as Kevin said, the Adanacs are in the playoffs. Whether they finish first or second is certainly not as important as looking at it from a North Shore standpoint, making those playoffs. They're certainly in the driver's seat, and with only 1 point behind, with 2 games in hand on the Maple Ridge Burrards. But as I've said several times this year, those games in hand only count when you win them.
For North Shore tonight, they come on the road. It's a big game for them. And what are their keys?
Well, first of all, they've got to get great goaltending. The last 2 losses sustained by the Adanacs, Devin DeLeet by Victoria and Matt Disher of New Westminster have turned in excellent displays on that. Dwight Metke has got to stand on his head for the Indians tonight. Secondly, they've got to pressure the Adanac ball carriers. Victoria had success with that tactic, putting lots of pressure on the ball carrier, forcing some turnovers. And thirdly, against Dallas Elliott, the outstanding goaltender in the league, I believe, they've got to minimize the low percentage shots. They've got to make Elliott work for his saves. Don't let him get on a roll by any means.
Tracy Kaluski wears number 17 for the Indians from Peterborough. Played a couple of seasons there, but also we saw him in a field lacrosse match last week.
Yeah, we did. It's odd that somebody with only 19 points would be considered the player of the game, but if you think back to the last time we saw the Indians play on our game of the week, he was the first star, far and away the outstanding player, and he's on the floor. A great field general, a great scorer. He's had some injury problems early in the year, which have curtailed his playing time, but I really think he is the key man for the North Shore Indians.
The Adanacs, we've had a lot of opportunities to see them this year. Here we see them one more time for Coquitlam. Dave, last year's Man Cup finalists losing to Brampton. They'd like to get back to that situation where they saw them travel back east last year.
Well, they certainly would. They'd like to do it in their own ballpark, not have to go on the road. I think it's always tough to go on the road. The keys, of course, for the Adanacs, key number 1, don't look beyond tonight. I think everybody, we've already talked about it, about how important that game is, and realistically, first place is going to come down to Friday night in Victoria. That's the bottom line. They can't look beyond that because they're playing a very desperate team tonight in the North Shore Indians. Secondly, they've got to control the faceoffs. They had a problem that way, not the centerman, but everybody else, getting those loose balls off the draw. In Brian Kopech and Brad MacArthur of the Indians, they're playing against 2 of the best tonight. And thirdly, they can't force their passes. We've seen that they love to move the ball. The Adanacs move the ball very, very well, but sometimes they get in a bit of a almost a zone where they want to pass more than shoot, and they start forcing some passes.
We've talked about rookies before. This guy's a rookie, Colin Doyle, number 77, 106 points last year with Kitchener-Waterloo, also the NL Rookie of the Year with Toronto.
Yeah, and Colin Doyle, last time out against Victoria, or last time we saw him against Victoria, really had a horrendous game. Didn't play very well at all, and there's a lot of talk, of course, being a rookie, he couldn't handle the rough stuff very well. He had 2 goals, 2 assists their last game against Burnaby. He played very well with the Canadian national field team back on their tour of the States a couple of weeks ago. He's got to have a big game for him to take some of the pressure off of some of their other outstanding scorers.
A big game for everybody on both sides of the offense tonight. It'll be Coquitlam versus the North Shore Indians, Kevin.
Well, this is going to be one fantastic game of lacrosse. You won't want to miss it. Don't go away. We'll be back right after this.
Mental illness does not discriminate. It can happen to anyone at any time. The New View Society provides programs for adults challenged by mental illness, including life skills, employment programs, housing, as well as social and recreational opportunities, helping people function independently in your community. Rogers Cable Systems is proud to be an active supporter by providing valuable work experience through the Supported Employment Program. The New View Society, 25 years of new beginnings.
Do you roll the dice when it comes to your investments? There is a better way to invest. It's about long-term investing. Don't play games with your financial future. Watch The Financial Planner on Rogers Community Television.
Fiona Forbes and Mike Eckford discovering inner peace. I see the clarity of pure light.
My foot's asleep.
For true enlightenment, watch Daytime live weekdays at 10 a.m. on Rogers Community Television.
You're watching Rogers Community Television.
Back in Coquitlam, the lacrosse game of the week is about to begin. The Indians and the Adanacs getting ready to get it on. Let's join Dave and Terry now for their call of the first period.
And there's a look at our starting goaltender tonight. Definitely the two outstanding goaltenders that play in the Western Lacrosse Association over the last 15 years or so. It's great to see them both playing against each other. Ironically enough, last time they faced each other here in the Sports Center, both of them got pulled halfway through. You're not going to see that happen tonight. Dwight Metke, a little long in the tooth, but still capable of winning a game on his own. Dallas Elliott, we've seen him perform brilliant over the last 2 or 3 seasons. If the goaltending is any indication, it's going to be a low-scoring game tonight.
And the face-off definitely won by the North Shore Indians. They take it with Brian Kopak, a Saskatchewan, also the field lacrosse Canadian team member out there taking the draw for the North Shore Indians. You'll see him in a lot of situations taking those face-offs. That time he won it over Mitchell. North Shore in control of the ball. They're in their black road uniforms. Here's Colin Sinclair, the former Salmon Belly. Dishes the ball off. Here's number 10, Paul Jones. He stops in the far boards, and here comes a minor interference call against North Shore in front of the net. It'll go against the Indians. It'll be Coquitlam ball.
And Terry, something that's going to be important for the Adanacs is how fast they can get the ball before their transition from defense to offense. I spoke with North Shore coach Rod Jensen before the game. They're playing an offensive-defensive system. They have 2 offensive lines, 1 defensive line, so they certainly are vulnerable to be beaten up the floor when they're making those changes on defense. We'll see if the Adanacs can capitalize on that. So
both offenses turn the ball over, and a reminder, this first period is brought to you by Vancouver Television, VTV, the heart of the city. North Shore, second offensive opportunity. Here's Mike Meridian. Meridian, bad pass, mishandled there by Kaluski. It'll go all the way back where Metke might touch it. No, he doesn't. Picked up by number 50, the Rocket, Todd Richard. Richard into the left corner. Kaluski has the ball, slips and falls. A loose ball is there, and an Adanac couldn't pick it up. The Indians do so. Shot off the target. The shot clock runs down, and it'll be Coquitlam ball.
I think it's important for the Indians, when Mike Moravian is on the floor, get him as many touches of the ball as possible. He's only playing in his 5th game. He's been flying back and forth from the east. He hasn't been practicing with the team, so it's important he get a good feel of the ball at the start of every shift.
Here's Dan Stroop off for Russ Hurd. Takes a shot just over the left foot of Metke. Now Colin Doyle, number 77, with the ball. Doyle holds onto it. Looks for someone to pass to. 6 on the shot clock. He'll have to hurry. Now down to 4 for Joss Sanderson. Ticks down, and Metke makes the easy save and holds the ball.
And so far, defense has dominated the game so far. Both teams offensively not playing badly. The defense is just playing very, very well. And really, that was the first shot of any consequence we've seen thus far.
Here's Randy Jones, another New Westminster Salmon Belly, former Salmon Belly, in the lineup here for the Indians tonight. Todd Katanchuk, last year's leading scorer, struggling this year, still having a fairly good season with 44 points. Katanchuk holds onto the ball, top of the circle, along the far boards, and now with the shot clock running down. And Coquitlam minus their defensive specialist, Pat Coyle, tonight, doing a good job so far defensively.
Yeah, it's been said that the Adanacs defense really falls apart without Pat Coyle, but that certainly hasn't been the case thus far tonight.
Chris Bryde's got a chance to shoot. Great in, takes a shot and scores! Chris Bryde, what a goal there. He faked the low shot and got Metke to go down and dished it over top of her.
Yeah, and so much for good defense. the Red Sea just opened up wide for Chris Bryde there. And Metke going down way, way, way too early. We'll see Bryde here. Sees it open up. I'll keep going. Metke, what he's doing down that early is beyond me. Bryde dropped the stick a bit, gave him a little bit of a look down low. But I'm sure Metke'd like to rethink that because he went down way, way too early.
Linton up the boards, into the right corner. Now for Metke. Metke has control of the ball, so the goal. Bryde is 17th of the season. Has the Coquitlam Adanacs out in front by a score of 1-0. Here's Mike Meridian. Number 40 being checked by Linton. Holds onto the ball into the corner. With it is Kaluski. Takes a shot right on. Good save there by the goaltender. Check that. Dallas Elliott. Metke in the nets for North Shore. Elliott, the goaltender for Coquitlam. Coquitlam in control. This is Jason Walder. Walder, Downey on his left. Walder takes a shot. Metke the save. New 30 for Bob Klein and the Adanacs. Now Walder Right side or left side for Downey in front of the net there. Brunch takes a shot, just misses the target. And that one goes into the Indians bench, and it'll be North Shore ball.
And what a great job by Kevin Brunch getting a handle on that pass from Downey, because I thought Downey perhaps forced that pass a bit because it was excellent defensive coverage by the Indians there. Brunch, a great job to get that pass in and get a shot away.
Losing the ball. For the Indians, they struggle for the loose ball, and now goes into the stick of Randy Jones. Over for Sinclair. Holds onto it. Quickly left side for Paul Jones to the side of the crease for Katanchuk, and he fanned on it. Lost control of the ball out of his stick. Right into the stick of Kevin Brunch. Back comes Coquitlam the other way. 4 minutes and 5 seconds in.
Now, boy, that's unusual for Katanchuk to miss a pass like that. That's someplace that he's usually very, very deadly. But as you say, the league's leading scorer last year, he's been struggling a bit this year offensively, that's for sure.
Stroop dishes it off for Hurd. Hurd right in on goal. Takes a shot. Metke the save. And Russ Hurd, a couple of opportunities early in this one.
Yeah, and a great one-on-one move by Russ Hurd. Hurd not noted for his quickness, but a real nice change of pace there, and a big save by Metke. And he needs that to get back into the game after giving up a bit of a questionable goal to Tracy Bride, or to Tracy Bride.
Derek Malosky dished the ball off. Here's Kaluski, delayed penalty against Coquitlam, and Kaluski has control of the ball. 8 seconds on the shot clock behind the net. Now over for Malosky. This is Derek Malosky. Off for Kaluski. He'll have to shoot it, he'll have to hurry. Doesn't get it away quick enough with the extra attacker on the floor. So at 4 minutes and 52 seconds and a Coquitlam Adanac penalty coming up, the first power play opportunity for North Shore tonight.
And with the amount of offense we've seen so far there, which is not very much, pretty important that North Shore, if not scoring on this power play opportunity, at least get some ball movement, get a couple of good opportunities. They really, we played almost 5 minutes in this first period, and they've yet to get a real decent shot against Ellis Elliott.
Trevor Bedell to the penalty box for Coquitlam. So, power play number 1 for the Indians, as I mentioned.
And so far, the Indians have just dominated the face-off circle. I don't think the Adanacs have won a face-off yet. Now, you don't expect them to win one there when they're a man short, but as we expected, the Indians very strong in that face-off circle.
Here's Marunian up top in for Kaluski. He's in the left crease position. Marunian again. Pass missed for Kurt Malosky in front. Malosky, who leads the WLA in goals with 35, having just a fantastic year in playing just 16 games thus to this part of the season. Kurt Malosky having a great year, and that man who just rolled the ball away was Derek Malosky having another great year.
Yeah, and I think it's a little early to be talking, well, actually, it's not a little early to be talking most valuable player in the league. And I'll tell you, if I had a vote, I would certainly give it to Kurt Malosky. I know you get a lot of argument out of Neil Spencer with because Matt Dishers had an outstanding year for the Bellies, but the North Shore Indians 0-7 when Kurt Malosky joined the team. Now here they are fighting for a playoff spot, and I'll tell you, he as much as anybody is the reason for that. And I think he's the league's MVP this year, without a doubt.
1 minute, 5 seconds left in the penalty. We've played 5 minutes and 40 seconds here in our Molson X Lacrosse Game of the Week, coming at you from the Coquitlam Sports Center. The Indians looking for a win here will clinch a playoff spot. They have 3 games to do it. Well, the Maple Ridge Burrards just 1 point ahead of the Indians for that final playoff berth. The Burrards just have 1 game remaining. Here's the power play. Kurt Malosky holds onto the ball to Moradian. Takes a shot wide of the target with 20 on the shot clock, but it'll go into Coquitlam's possession as it went out of play.
And boy, the North Shore power play, they've at least got a challenge to Ellis Elliott. Get some shots on goal. I mentioned in the keys to the game, they've got to minimize the low percentage shots. Well, they can't get much lower of a percentage shot than missing the net like that.
Coquitlam killing some penalty time with 30 seconds remaining in the penalty to Bedell. Here's Kevin Brunch. Brunch with Sanderson. They like to drag that ball and kill some valuable time. Brunch dishes it off in front for Colby Rope. Rope, who was missing from our last game of the week, broadcast in Maple Ridge, back in the lineup tonight. Paul Jones quickly, he's got a man breaking. That's Kurt Malosky in a breakaway. Here comes Malosky, takes his shot, and Elliott took the shot away from him, enabling him to go for the short side and missing the target.
What a huge save by Dallas Elliott. Not a traditional power play, but a great job by Elliott making that big save on Malosky.
Malosky again with an opportunity in front. Penalty now over with. Here's Derek Malosky in front for his brother Kurt. Can't control the pass. And now the loose ball for Kaluski in the far corner. Picks it up. Here's Tracy Kaluski driving for the front of the net. Slips and falls. Spins around and takes the shot. And Elliott again was there. Now Derek Malosky to the floor. Bedell misses in check. And Kurt Malosky comes up with the ball. He's no stranger to this Coquitlam Sports Center. He played all his junior lacrosse here for the Coquitlam Junior Adanacs. As we have a play stoppage. Last year, Kurt played for the Buffalo Gamblers, who formerly were the Niagara Gamblers, and this year folded up to 10.
Yeah, he gambled and lost on that one. How many times have we said that this year? But the problem has been with, as we see referee Bob Taylor checking the 30-second clock. They're running the 30-second clock. I think he said they're going to run it down to 4 seconds, which means Lacrosse is just going to roll the ball in the corner, and Coquitlam will take over.
Yeah, it wasn't really a roll. I thought maybe he could try to get Kaluski, and they had an opportunity for it, but he was tied up. Nonetheless, here comes Coquitlam. They lead the game 1-0 on the goal by Bride, his 17th at 2:30. We've got 12:30 to go in this first period. Bryan again tries to go and split the defense, and back the other direction come the Indians. It's number 88, Derek Graham.
And that's one of the problems with playing offensive defensive right there. Derek Graham, instead of taking that ball down the floor, leading the fast break, slowed it down, allows the line change to take place, and really forfeited an excellent scoring opportunity for the Indians, I think.
That's Derek Miloski with the ball, comes out in front of the net, stops and turns and tried to dish it back to Meridian. Loose ball is still there with 20 on the shot clock. Derek Miloski dishes it over. Now back in front. Kaluski gets driven to the floor. And no penalty on the play, but Kaluski looks like he's hurt.
Yeah, Kaluski took that one right across the chest, right in the solar plexus, and he went down in a lump, but nothing wrong with that. A good hit. He just tried to beat one man too many and walked right into a good cross check.
Now Downey dishes it off for Santos. And Shaden Santos couldn't negotiate that one, and instead here comes Downey one more time with 5 on the shot clock. Over for Brunch. He'll have to hurry. It's down to 3. Takes a shot. Metke to save. And Dwight Metke, thus far, other than the one goal that beat him, looking strong.
Yeah, Metke's looked very solid after that first goal. Another great individual effort there by Kevin Brunch.
There's a shot by Kopek right on. Elliott to save. And a interference, a minor interference call on the play. It'll be North Shore ball. Kurt Miloski there trying to draw a penalty after the whistle. Play inside the right corner. Katanchuk put it out front for Paul Jones. Jones with the ball. Here's Katanchuk. 18 on the shot clock. His team trails 1-0 in our Molson X Lacrosse game of the week here in Coquitlam. The Indians with Colin Sinclair trying to grab a loose ball. 9 on the shot clock. Looking to come out in from behind the net. Positions it in front for Katanchuk. Goes right into an Adanac stick.
And Colin Sinclair not doing much on that offensive thrust. And you're going to wonder how happy the Indians are with Colin Sinclair and Randy Jones, because they've got 6 goals between them since they've showed up from New Westminster, and I think they expected a little more production from that from those 2 veterans.
Trevor Bedell set up, tried a shot to get between the legs of Metke. That doesn't work for him. And now with 10 minutes and 15 seconds left in this opening period and a 1-0 deficit for the Indians. Here's Derek Miloski. Having a great year, Derek Miloski, leading the club in scoring with 27 goals and 45 assists, 72 points. Second in the Western Lacrosse Association. Now in the far corner, coming out of the corner, and a good chance in front of that for Kevin Biggs. And Biggs' shot is stopped by the goaltender, and we'll have a play stoppage. And a turnover here, and the Indians get control. And a penalty coming up behind the play. Colin Doyle in front of the net is going to take an interference call. Now Doyle goes after his man one more time, and it's going to be a cross check for Doyle.
And a smart move by Doyle to get out of there before Dwayne Zeelenberg rethought that and gave him a second minor penalty. And a nice job there just prior to that penalty by, first of all, Biggs getting that shot away, but a great job by Todd Richard to see him open there, get the ball to him.
That's the score, 1-0. We'll be right back.
Celebrating, involving, and reflecting you. This is Rogers Community Television.
Face off, won by the Adanacs. They struggle for the loose ball. Kaluski in there as well. And the Indians get control, and they have that power play, the penalty to Colin Doyle. 1 minute, 45 seconds to go with this power play opportunity, the second for North Shore. That's Derek Miloski off for Meridian. Miloski takes a shot high up, and Elliott can easily turns it aside. Miloski in for Katanchuk. Katanchuk has Kaluski off to the left. Ball goes over to Tracy Kaluski and puts it into the stick of the captain. That's Kurt Miloski. In front of the net for Katanchuk. He can't negotiate that. Said his brother Derek Miloski. Off for the side for Katanchuk. Tried the short side shot. Past the goaltender Elliott. And minor interference again, the call against Shaden Santos. The North Shore ball.
Now once again, the Indians not getting an awful lot of penetration on this power play. They're getting people through the middle, but they're covered up so quickly they're not getting the passes through to them.
This is Meridian. Check. Kurt Miloski to Kaluski. Tried the backhander and misses off the target. 16 on the shot clock. Derek Miloski driven into the boards there by Casey Zapp and gives him a stick back to the head. And no penalty will be called there. And now he's going to get called. Derek Miloski going to the bench. Bobby Taylor makes the call. Good call. Got the stick up high in the retaliation on Casey Zapp.
Oh yeah, that's a great call because that's just a stupid penalty on the part of Miller. A little bit after the whistle, interference there. The interference call has been made. Miloski's going to get the ball. Instead, hey, I call that 5 minutes because total retaliation, away from the play. His team's already got possession of the ball. He goes for the head, no control over the stick. He's darn lucky he's getting away with a 2-minute penalty on that.
So that nullifies the power play with 1 minute left in the penalty. And obviously that'll be the time. And off the face-off, a breakaway chance for Paul Jones right in on goal. Elliott the save. And Paul Jones had a gift there. The seas parted for Paul Jones.
Yeah, that was an odd one because the ball just kind of rolled out off the face-off and Jones just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Couldn't beat Elliott.
Here's Kurt Miloski coming up the floor. Paul Jones in the far corner gets the ball. This is to his brother Randy. Randy Jones in control off for Kurt Miloski. Can't negotiate the pass. Now Johnny Wilson goes to check him for Coquitlam. Loose ball goes in front of the net. Great for Colin Sinclair, who began his Western Lacrosse Association career back in 1991, where he was the Rookie of the Year for the New Westminster Salmon Bellies.
Another great shift of defense by the Adanacs, and you know, we talk about them missing Pat Coyle, but they've got so many great defensive players on that team that, of course, you miss a great defender like Pat Coyle, but they're still very solid defensively, as we've seen so far.
Downey dishes it off. Josh Sanderson will have to go back for it. 4 more seconds left in the penalty, and that Coquitlam will have the power play. Doyle back to the floor. Here's Sanderson. Takes a shot, and Metke turns it aside. Brunch will have to go after it. Does he know they have the power play? Yes, he does. And he'll try to get it in control. And how can you get control in that little scrum? Ball at the player's feet. Still battling hard for it, and they'll have to try a face-off.
That's a good job on the part of the North Shore players in there because, hey, as long as Coquitlam doesn't have possession of the ball, they don't have to worry about the power play. So if they can keep that ball loose on the floor as long as they possibly can, then get a face-off. They also know that they've got some excellent face-off guys, and they've been dominating the face-off circle so far tonight, but real good play by the North Shore Indians.
A little bit of pushing and shoving, some kind words exchanged amongst the players. And the face-off will come up inside North Shore Indian territory. As you look at Brad Downey. Downey from Whittier College. Second team All-Star. First team in 1996, or first pick in 96. Josh Sanderson, that could be your Rookie of the Year right there, Dave.
Yeah, I think it's such a great crop of rookies this year, but Sanderson, you know, goal and 5 assists in their last game against Burnaby, the leading scorer among rookies, and I just think he's been such an, not only an excellent player, but a very exciting player to watch. I really enjoyed watching him this year, and I think it was a close Rookie of the Year race up to about the last 2 or 3 weeks. Now I really think it's got to be Sanderson hands down, and there's probably about 6 guys fighting for second place.
30 seconds left in the penalty, 7:15 left in this 1-0 lead. This is the first period, mind you. The Adanacs have the lead. Sanderson, backhander over for Colin Doyle. Sanderson picks up the loose ball, and it goes off. It looked like Derek Graham over the back of the net. And Coquitlam with a new shot clock, and 13 on the power play. Stroop off for Sanderson up top. Over to for Brunch. Lets the big shot go and hits, I believe, MacArthur in the back. Goes right into an Indian stick. With 3 seconds left in the penalty, out on the floor is Derek Miloski. Gets the ball, has a chance to shoot, holds on to it, and waits for the offense to come up the floor. Derek Miloski takes a shot now, and Elliott turns it aside.
What a smart play by Russ Hurd. As soon as he saw North Shore have possession of that ball, he went straight to the penalty box area because he knew Miloski was on his way out very quickly. He pretty much shut that fast break down.
Zaff had a lane there and got that one taken away from him as he streaked for the front of the net. And he'll go off for a breather with 6:20 to go in this opening period. 1-0 Coquitlam. The goal by Brad Downey. In front of the net, great goal there. And it's not going to be a goal, it's going to be a crease violation. as number 7, Chris Bride, looking for goal number 2.
Yeah, tough break there on that crease violation because a great bang-bang play between Brunch and Bride. Bride opened just for a split second. Kevin Brunch, the veteran, found him, but unfortunately the foot found the crease as well.
Kevin Linton, number 16 for Coquitlam, dishes it off for Brunch. 5:55 to go this opening period. Our Molson X Lacrosse game of the week. Here the Indians are looking for 2 points for a playoff spot. They'll clinch it. Well, they won't clinch it. They'll pull ahead of Maple Ridge, who has 1 game remaining in their schedule against the Westminster Salmon Bellies. The Indians have 3 remaining and trail the Burrards by 1 point. There's a shot. Elliott got a piece of it. Comes all the way for Kurt Malosky. Can't pick it up. Daryl Singbill does for Coquitlam. Onto the floor, and Singbill had a big tilt against Tim O'Brien, the big tough guy for the North Shore Indians the last time these two teams played here. And actually they've scrapped a couple of times somewhere, so there's a little bit of anticipation amongst some of your fight fans in the lacrosse fans or stands here tonight. Mike Meridian with the ball for the Indians, has control, finds a spot in front of that, right in front, and that'll definitely be a crease violation. He's in a good meter inside the crease.
And I'm sure Mike Meridian was happy to see us here tonight, Terry, because it seems to me last season, the games we did, virtually every game that we did of North Shores, Mike Meridian was the first star, and I'm sure he was just thrilled to see the big red truck out the back of the Coquitlam Sports Center tonight.
4:40 to go in this opening period. 12 on the shot clock as Josh Sanderson had trouble with it, and here he is bringing the ball up to 4. Sanderson lost control of it, and quickly the other way. Here comes number 88, Derek Graham. Now Graham gets the ball in front of the net for Kurt Malosky. It was MacArthur that set him up. Now in the far corner, behind the net, ball centered, and goes right into the Coquitlam Adanacs stick. Quickly up the floor, Jason Waller's got a 2-on-1 situation. Man open as Santos can't get it to him. Into the corner now, Chris Bride. Bride has rope breaking in front, and Walter all by himself can't pick up the loose ball. And back the other direction, here's number 18, Derek Malosky.
And once again, we saw an example of the downside of that offense-defensive system from the North Shore standpoint, as the Adanacs bowler got a great fast break as the North Shore Indians were making a change. Unfortunately, couldn't finish it off.
Randy Jones to his brother Paul. Paul holds onto the ball, the bigger of the two. There's a chance in front. Scores! Ty Katanchuk ties the game up. As the Jones brothers pass it back and forth, and finally Paul Jones finds Katanchuk, and this game's tied at 1.
Yeah, a great job by, first of all, Paul Jones to find Katanchuk, but a great job by Katanchuk through the middle, doing probably what he does as well as anybody, and that's cutting through the middle and then taking that pass. There it is. There's the quick pass there. Katanchuk on the run, gets it away, one hand on the stick, and that's a tough read for Dallas Ali, because with Katanchuk with one hand on the stick like that, very unlikely that he knew exactly where that shot was going. He had a good idea where it was going, but that makes it that much tougher for a goaltender to read, because certainly if the shooter doesn't know where the shot's going precisely, the goaltender certainly can't anticipate.
So Todd Katanchuk picks up his 19th goal of the season. Now 1-1 tie.
And number 16, Randy Jones.
Face off at center between Katanchuk and Coquitlam's number 13, Johnny Wilson, and Wilson wins the draw for Mitchell. Coquitlam has had trouble with North Shore this year. Looking to get back in the lead here and trying to stay with Victoria. As both teams are tied at the top of the WLA standings. Now Doug Hill falls to the floor. And it'll be North Shore ball, and they can stop the thing from rolling into the corner. With 3:13 to go in this opening period, a 1-1 tie, and our Molson X Lacrosse game of the week.
Yeah, I mentioned how tough it is for the Adanac players not to look beyond tonight to next Friday in Victoria, but because no matter what happens tonight, no matter what happens in Victoria's next game, that game is going to be for all the marbles. And it really is important. Anytime you're playing a game involving Victoria, that home floor advantage is important because of the travel involved come playoff time.
Chris Bride with some speed dishes the ball off to his left. And that ball will be picked up by Derek Malosky. Paul Jones there on your screen was looking like he was trying to get away from a pick that was set up. And he did get away, and here comes Colin Sinclair, number 34. Into the right corner, dishes it off to Randy Jones. Both those players came over from New Westminster in a trade that saw Sean Springett and a first-round pick in next year's draft. go over to the New Westminster Salmon Bellies in return. Now Coquitlam, that was Casey Zapp with some speed. Now for Downey. A 1-1 tie here at the Sports Center in Coquitlam. Now Shaden Santos. 17 on the shot clock for Walder. Walder puts it over for Santos. Looked for a spot to shoot, couldn't control the ball. Now just into the corner here for Bob Klein. Klein for Brunch, takes the shot, it's a hard one, goes into the corner. Katanchuk races after it for the Indians, and nicely dishes it back to Metke.
Yeah, it's a great play by Metke, getting out of his crease to make himself available as an outlet man for Todd Katanchuk, because he did have some pressure coming towards him on that loose ball.
Now Brad MacArthur with the ball, up for Kevin Biggs. Biggs at the face-off circle, holds on to it. Far side, shot taken there by number 50, Todd Richard. Ball goes all the way back. They say keep it because the shot clock's down to 0. And the ball almost should be down at the other end. It'll be Coquitlam ball anyways. Here's Dan Stroop.
Yeah, they're going to compromise and give it to him at center. You're right. Metke fired that just as the buzz was going, so they should get the ball up at their end, but North Shore already retreated on defense anyway.
Colin Doyle holds it now for Hurd. A Toronto Rock teammate from the NLL. Stroop, another member of the team on that same line. Won't see him get the ball because it's North Shore's turn as you watch Kopech go off for a rest and North Shore up the floor. Last minute to play, 55 seconds remaining. 21 on the shot clock in this 1-1 tie. Opening period action in our Molson X Lacrosse game of the week. Kurt Malosky loses the ball. Player gets dumped in front of the net. Colin Sinclair is going to go to the penalty box. Off your screen, a player was dumped. Here's Dan Stroop driving for the front of the net. That's a quick shot goal. And it'll be the penalty to Colin Sinclair with 36 seconds remaining in this opening period.
Yeah, and it must be the night for stupid penalties from North Shore, and I'm sure something Rod Jensen's got to focus on between periods, the head coach of the Indians, is, hey guys, we can't be taking silly penalties like that. This is the second silly penalty we've seen, and the Adanacs are going to probably go into the second period with a power play if they don't score in this 30 seconds. But that's the second retaliation penalty we've seen, and not very smart at all, especially in the offensive end.
Here you look at Coquitlam's benches. They get set for this face-off. Big face-off inside North Shore territory. Mitchell wins the draw for the Adanacs. And the power play, if they can chase after a loose ball, Doug Hill's in there, and Hill drags a man down. And it was maybe Dan Stroop that was the one being the illegal offender there. Hurd in front for Doyle. Doyle has Mitchell open on the side. Takes a shot off the bar. Good opportunity for Mitchell there. Set up perfectly by Doyle. Al Sanderson. Anderson looks for a mate to pass to. He's got Stroop to move to. He usually plays that left crease position. Over for Hurd. 7 on the game clock. Here is this period. It ends, and it's a goal for Josh Sanderson. And gets the power play marker with 4 seconds left in this opening period.
Well, so much for the Adanacs starting the period with the power play. Josh Sanderson put an end to that nonsense. What a great outside shot by Sanderson. Not really noted for his outside shooting, more of a one-on-one player. But watch this shot. It's a great bounce shot. Here's the feed coming over from Hurd, or from Hurd through Stroop. There it is, a bounce shot. Metke drops on it a bit early, but realistically from a goaltending standpoint, not the wrong thing necessarily for Metke to do. He went down anticipating the low shot. It skipped around the top of the crease, went right into that top corner. Super shot to end the period on by Josh Sanderson.
The assist to number 88, Dan Stroop, and to number 99, Russ Hurd. Time of the goal, 1956.
Stroop gets the assist along with Hurd, who picked up 6 assists the other night, but this guy who also picked up 6 points in a win over Burnaby with 1 goal and 6 assists gets his team the lead after 1 period here in Coquitlam. Josh Sanderson picking up his 32nd goal on the year. As you look at the North Shore Indians, dejectively, maybe because they gave up a goal with only 4 seconds left, but they played a whale of a period in a good defensive battle here in Coquitlam. Let's go down to Kevin Cady.
Well, thanks a lot, Terry. I'm joined by Indians head coach Rod Jensen. First of all, Coach, your thoughts on the first period?
Well, it seemed like both of us were just testing each other. No one really got into the game. I think it's going to pick up the intensity from here on out. I didn't think either team played very well in the first period, but I'm sure the intensity will pick up and both teams will start getting going. Looks like we're both going at about 80% right now.
Well, that won't be too hard for you to kick them up a notch there in the intermission. Everybody, even the casual observer, can say we got 2 great goaltenders in this one. What have you been telling the boys the key is to beat Eliak?
Well, yeah, you're right. They're 2 great veterans, Dwight Metke and Dallas Eliak. Just got to change up your shots. You can't do the same thing on Dallas. You got to go up, low, balance, straight in, and he makes it. We already know he's going to make a couple great saves tonight, but you can't get frustrated. You just got to keep persevering. Last game we knocked him out of the game, so hopefully we can bounce back in the second period and get some shots and goals on him.
Okay, Coach, good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
Don't go away. We got lots more lacrosse for you right after this.
Have your say. Call the Rogers Community Television Viewer Response Line at 412-2656 or 850-5366.
Going loony wondering where your money's going? For sound financial advice, watch The Financial Planner with host Greg Cross on Rogers Community Television.
Did you know if you watch non-stop all of the original local programming Rogers produces each year, you'd have to stay awake for 120 days? Rogers Community Television, get to know us.
Hi there, I'm Fiona Forbes, and that is Michael Eckford. We're your hosts for Daytime. So why not grab a coffee and tune in? You never know what's going to happen. Join us Monday through Friday live at 10 a.m. on Rogers Community Television.
I'm Rob Fay. I'm not Rob Fay.
And I'm Dawn Bensmiller. And we don't use words over 2 syllables. Make sure you watch InSport on Sundays at 7.
Who is Speed Vision? It's the guys who put it all on the line. Guys like Andy Green, who can't go fast enough, and Alan Shepard, who did all of his best driving on the moon. Think of Don Aronow catching air. Kenny Roberts grinding the toe off his boot. And those guys with the right stuff? But you get the point. So turn on Speed Vision, where men are men, and insurance agents are nervous.
Part of the MeTV package.
Hey, Rob, how come I'm not on your list of priorities? I'm your girlfriend.
Well, you know, honey, Generation Y, Tuesdays at 7. It's important.
Well, I can handle not being on your list, but how come we can't ever have any alone time? There's always girls in your room.
But they're from the show.
All aboard for good legal advice. Watch Under Appeal. With me, your host and lawyer, Scott Taylor, Thursdays at 9 on Rogers Community Television.
You're watching Rogers Community Television.
And welcome back to the Molson Export Lacrosse Game of the Week. There's the score after one. The Adanacs on top of the Indians, 2-1. Now both Derek and Kurt Malosky have been quiet so far in the first period, but that's not because they're uncomfortable here. Both of them played their junior lacrosse right here in Coquitlam, both leading their teams in scoring in their final years. Right now they seem to be the heir apparents to the Gates as the most prolific brother tandem in the WLA, so that alone makes them definitely one of BC's best.
Yeah, basically we played together because he was a left-hander and a right-hander. It just naturally worked out that way that I was on one side of the floor and he was on the other side of the floor. So every time we went to practice, he just learned to be a lefty and I was a righty and just basically played together. We never really played against each other. He was on that side, so we just went back and forth. So one guy didn't have a buddy to go to the box with. You always had your brother, so we used to go up, throw the ball around, and just learn the same type of style. He's a good outside shooter. I used to go down low. He used to feed me the ball. He used to shoot from the outside. That's where we got a little different styles.
Well, I never got the chance to play with him in junior because we were 3 years apart, the age difference, so that wasn't that great. But now that we're together, it's just working out well, you know.
Yeah, actually, I started when I was about 4 years old. My uncle actually gave me a stick and got me into it, and only was supposed to be 5 years old to start, but I started when I was 4 and just got into it, loved it ever since. It's been great.
Pretty much followed behind him, you know, and just kind of took me under his wing, I guess you could say, and you know, I learned a lot from him and made me the player I am today, so it's been good.
Obviously, we want to win the Mann Cup. You know, last year we went back to Buffalo. We figured we had a very good team back there and wanted to play together for the first time actually away from home and just concentrate basically on lacrosse. And, you know, we both ran into a few injuries. I had the bad groin and, you know, he broke his wrist. So it didn't turn out very well, and we got beat by Brampton, very good lacrosse team. But we learned a lot back there. We learned that we could play good to get each other. Our styles kind of complement each other. Yet we didn't play a lot together, but the times we did, we got along really well, and things have moved on, and it's kind of worked its way out here, and we get to play a lot together. It's just been great.
Well, I like being in shape. There's one great thing about playing lacrosse. I played soccer, so did he. We both played soccer for quite a while, so that kept us in shape too. And the physical aspect of it too is the challenge. I like that. And obviously goal scoring and the offensive end, it's just, that's kind of our type of game. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already said it. I go to the lacrosse blocks as much as you can. That's what we did. We grew up from lacrosse blocks, just two blocks away from us, and we'd be there any spare time that we had, So basically just be committed and keep going and throw the ball against the wall.
Yeah, it's basically practice makes perfect, I always practice hard all the time, always had my stick in my hand. There's a lot of things to do these days down the West Coast, but the game of lacrosse, once you get into it and you get the love for it, it never dies. And even at our age, it's still there for the young guys that want to get started. Just get out there and keep going and never give up. It's a great team game. It's not an individual game. You get to meet a lot of new people, a lot of new friends. Get to, team atmosphere carries on in life. It's great.
Well, there you can see the Moloskis and their career scoring records. Derek with 179 points and brother Kurt with 618, and we'll probably hear from them later on in this one. Don't go away. We got lots more lacrosse for you right after this.
Become an informed buyer by accessing the Better Business Bureau automated telephone system at 682-2711. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call the Better Business Bureau for pre-purchase information, business reliability reports, consumer business dispute resolution services, explanations of specific scams or frauds, charity reports, and marketplace tips. The Better Business Bureau is a nonprofit association of businesses dedicated to creating an educated and ethical marketplace. Shop the Better Business Bureau before you buy.
Looking for a program that gets you in touch with your community?
Takes you to all the great locations across the Lower Mainland.
Brings you the positive stories?
And introduces you to people you want to know?
Then you better get plugged in.
With a new program every Monday to Friday at 6:30 p.m.
Rogers Community Television keeps you in touch with your community. Did you know you can also stay up to date with the latest local, national, and international news from CKWX? Every weekday, Rogers brings you live news breaks at the top of the hour. Get to know us.
Celebrating, involving, and reflecting you. This is Rogers Community Television.
And welcome back to the Molson Export Lacrosse Game of the Week. 2-1 after 1. The Adanacs on top. Let's join Dave and Terry now for their summary of the first and their call of the second period of play.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Well, Coach Roddy Jensen of the North Shore Indians basically summed it up, Dave. Not a real good period by both clubs.
Yeah, a bit sloppy both teams, certainly offensively, but the other side of the coin is an excellent period defensively for both clubs. Good goaltending by both Mecke and Eliak. The first goal, a little bit suspect, but all in all, good goaltending and good defense dominated that period.
Our VTV scoring summary in that first period. Chris Bryant opened it up with his 17th goal of the year. Katanchuk tied it with his 19. Face-offs fairly even at 5-3. There's the Josh Sanderson goal. You see the power play marker. Shots 12-10 in favor of the Adanacs. Fairly even all around.
Yeah, I'm surprised the face-offs are as close as they were, because North Shore certainly dominated early in the period. As we look at Dallas Eliak with that familiar Philadelphia Wings mask on, getting ready for the second. But he had an outstanding first period, but realistically wasn't tested that much. Metke, on the other hand, tested a little bit more. Shots 12-10, but realistically the number of what you'd want to call high percentage scoring opportunities, probably about 5-3 in favor of Coquitlam. Not that many real good scoring opportunities by either team. Great defense both ways, though.
Dwight Metke backed up by Regan Stidoff tonight, a member of the Coquitlam Adanacs to start this season out before Dallas Eliak showed up on the scene. As we start this second period, it'll be Mitchell to face off for Coquitlam against number 12. That is Brian Kopech, and the draw won by Mitchell. Here's Chris Bryant. Bryant dishes a pass in front for Mitchell, has a man in behind him, can't get it to him. And the other way, here comes Todd Katanchuk. Has the ball over for Colin Sinclair. Dishes it off there for Kurt Moloski. Finds a man in front, that's Kaluski. Kaluski taking a couple of hacks in front. He Adanacs must feel it's like Gary Gate or something because he's getting worked over. Now Katanchuk. Katanchuk, the one game we saw against Victoria here at the Coquitlam Sports Center, and I believe it was Kevin Brunch had hacked Gary Gate or Paul Gate, one of the Gates anyways, about 6 or 7 times. A reminder, the second period is brought to you by CKNW 98. Of course, CKNW is BC's sports leader. And now we have a penalty. As you see Tracy Kaluski on your screen, but he's not going to the box. This guy is.
Yeah, Blair Mitchell off for an interference penalty, once again behind the play, and you really got to wonder what these guys are thinking sometimes. You know, the play is already over, the ball's on the other end of the floor, and you take a silly penalty, in this case an interference penalty, a retaliation penalty, anything like that. To me, it's the things that just drive coaches crazy, and the last thing Les Wingrove and Roddy Jensen need at this point in their life is more gray hairs, and that's what gives them to them, believe me.
Kopech to face off, wins the power play opportunity here in effect, and we're having a problem with the shot clock. Shot clock's going to be reset as you look at our referee Bobby Taylor, assisted tonight by Dwayne Zeelenberg. There's Mike Meridian, who didn't start the season with the North Shore Indians, and you'll see the shot clock there. He's played 105, and the penalty time up there 149. Meridian, who didn't start this year, was a needed addition to the Indians line.
Yeah, he is. He gives them a little more depth from the left-handed scoring, as does Randy Jones, as do Randy Jones and Colin Sinclair. So now with Meridian back, Jones and Sinclair in the lineup, of course, from that big trade with New Westminster, they've got as good a scoring from that side of the floor as anybody in the league's got. Of course, the downside from the Meridian standpoint, as I mentioned, he hasn't played that much, only playing his 5th game tonight. And, of course, everybody else is into their 18th, 20th games. So he's got a little bit to go in terms of not so much his fitness, more his touch of the ball and that kind of thing.
The power play is 0 for 2 tonight. Tracy Kaluski attempts a shot there, and the save made by Ellick. Santos digs it out. And then Casey Zaff does pick it up. Here comes Zaff with some speed going around. Meridian stops and turns to the right. Right in front of our vantage point, here's Casey Zaff with a chance to shoot. Moves right in, takes the shot, and Metke the save. Metke in his 16th year in the league, played a good number of those years with the Vancouver Burrards.
Yeah, to show how old Metke is, he took over for me when I retired from the Vancouver Burrards. That shows how ancient Dwight Metke is, and I know I'll hear about that comment from him.
Shot by Meridian. Elliott gets a piece of it, goes out of play. 2 minutes played in the second period, a 2-1 Coquitlam Adanac lead in our Molson X lacrosse game of the week here at Coquitlam. Downey takes a pass from Hurt. Downey tried to go in front of the net, holds on to it. Brad Downey now for Kevin Brunch, along with Colin Doyle out there on the floor. Killing some penalty time here. 45 seconds remains in the penalty. Here's Brunch. Brunch for Doyle. Just came back from the World Cup of Field Lacrosse against USA. Canada lost 2 games straight. The last game decisively. I think the score was, what, about 20-11, Dave? Does that sound
something
right?
like that? Yeah, the first game, 16-15, a much better game. But realistically, in the field, in the world of field lacrosse, the Americans have got so much depth as compared to Canada, and these guys are playing, of course, field lacrosse regularly. When their regular season ends in May, they're into summer leagues, they're into fall leagues. They're playing field lacrosse constantly. It's a tough go to compete with them at that world level.
There's Brad MacArthur, who we haven't seen too often this year. Just our second game here on our Molson X lacrosse game of the week. MacArthur, a junior for Whitby. And speaking of Whitby, in the lacrosse standings in Ontario, in the OLA, Whitby, the junior team, is back up in top with just 1 loss. And they'll give the Burnaby Lakers some chance. Here's some competition as Paul Jones brings it back down the penalty. Just 5 seconds remaining. Here's Meridian. Off to his right is Katanchuk. Meridian's going to have to shoot. There's a penalty now over with as Mitchell's back on the floor. Can he get a breakaway chance? Zaff sees him at the last second. Mitchell gets it on a 2-on-1 with Klein. Mitchell holds onto it, takes a shot high. Metke the save, and he gets a new 30. Bob Mitchell picks up the loose ball. Blair Mitchell should check that. And quickly up the floor, Kirk Miloski can't pick up a loose ball. 3 minutes, 25 seconds in to the second period. Miloski gets checked. Derek Miloski gets the loose ball now. In behind the net. Stick up high in the air, looking for someone to pass to. Klein goes to check him. Now for Paul Jones. Jones works his way into the slot area. Still holds it with 15 on the shot clock. Takes Takes a slash there by Bob Klein. He wants a penalty. Not going to get the call. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Right in, and Elliott to save. And the rebound for Johnny Wilson. Quickly up the floor. Casey Zaff's got some speed. Mitchell joining him on the play. Mitchell off to the left. Can he get the ball? Zaff takes the shot and misses with the target. And Katanchuk picks up the loose ball.
You know, both teams have got to be certainly a little more productive offensive. We saw North Shore's Paul Jones basically hang on to the ball for the virtually all of the shot clock.
As Brad MacArthur ties his game up as North Shore came right down the floor, got an opportunity. Derek Molosky in on the play, I believe as well. Well, we'll check the official, but nonetheless, it's MacArthur getting the goal.
Yeah, a great move by MacArthur, going one-on-one. We'll see it coming up right here. You get the return pass right here from Meridian. There's a little backhand pass over to MacArthur, and watch this move coming up right here. Boom, boom. Gets the defender Zingbio going too far, comes across, puts it low, and usually Elliott drops down on a shot like that. A little slow going down on that one, and a nice finish by Brad MacArthur.
Right off the face-off. They battle for the loose ball there, and now North Shore gets the ball in this 2-2 tie.
Number 99, Brad MacArthur. The assist to number 22, Tom Katanchuk. And to number 40, Mike Meridian. Time on the goal, 4:15.
Katanchuk picks up the assist as North Shore controls, and they get the tying goal. Mark MacArthur, his 8th goal on the season. Now with the ball, here's Meridian. Meridian spins off, holds it with 5 on the shot clock, takes that shot. Elliott to save.
And you saw there Meridian matched up one-on-one on Daryl Singbio and the whole North Shore bench asking everybody else on the floor to clear out, let him try and go one-on-one against Singbio. But Singbio and his defense did a pretty good job there shutting Meridian down.
That time Metke comes out, does a good job, and takes a pass away from an Adanac. Now Tim O'Brien on the floor. He'll go off for a breather, and now Derek Graham. Graham, number 88, here for the Indians. Holds the ball, 5 minutes, 15 seconds played in this second period. A 2-2 tie at the Coquitlam Sports Center. Our Molson X Lacrosse Game of the Week. Pass in front. Now Katanchuk. Indians would like to get a shot as the clock runs down to 0, and they move that ball around. And a holding penalty coming up in front of the net, I believe, to an Adanac. And there's Dwayne Zeelenberg making the call. And it'll be a holding penalty to Coquitlam's Shaden Santos.
And once again, North Shore going on the power play, their 4th power play, I believe, so far this evening. They really have been very unproductive to this point. And I think if you can't have that many opportunities on the power play and not start taking advantage of it very quickly. They've got to take advantage of it or they're going to be in trouble.
It'll be Kopech against Blair Mitchell of the Coquitlam Adanacs in this face-off to the left of Dallas Elliott. Battle for the loose ball. Ball comes all the way back inside Indian territory. Doug Hill falls to the floor. And now the goaltender quickly up the floor. Here's Paul Jones. Jones in front for Kurt Molosky. Takes a shot. Elliott got his right foot on it to take that one away from the league leader in goals.
There's a case for Molosky. Maybe would have been better off holding onto that ball and taking it out. He was on the wrong side of the floor. A great break off the bench, but unfortunately for him and the Indians, on the wrong side of the floor, and really just hit Elliott with that shot.
Killing some penalty time now. Here's Russ Hurd in the far boards, taking some wood as well, or plastic, nonetheless. Taking some slashing. Now here's Sanderson, right in front of our vantage point. Sanderson over for Stroop, killing some penalty time. 1:15 left in that penalty. Stroop on the far boards. Dishes it off for Russ Hurd. Hurd all by himself, shoots, and a great save there. Metke standing tall. There was room there for Hurd. And Metke wins that battle.
And Tim O'Brien just looked lost out there on that, and the Adanac player got wide open. He was just looking around for somebody to pick up, and very fortunate there once again that Metke bailed them out.
On the power play, Colin Sinclair in his right crease position had trouble with it. Now Coquitlam will get possession. No, that's changed as there was some minor interference going on in that right corner. So with 44 seconds left in the penalty, Colin Sinclair with his stick in the air and the ball and his stick and ready to play. Here's Derek Molosky up top to Kurt Molosky. Kaluski at the left crease. Now Derek Molosky tries to get it back to his brother Kurt. You saw that feature in our first period intermission there on the Molosky brother. Now Kaluski right in front of that, dives to the front and almost got the ball between the sticks. Now Sinclair takes a shot. Elliott makes a save and Sinclair's going to get a penalty for slashing in front of the net. He's tied up with Bedell and Kurt Molosky is there as well. Or was it Molosky that did the slashing? I thought it was Sinclair.
No, it's gonna be Sinclair going off for slashing, trying to hide on the bench, but that isn't gonna work. But what a great, smart play by Sinclair, getting that shot away. He realized Elliott was down. Wasn't a real great high percentage shot, but just the fact that he got it away, tried to take advantage of Elliott being out of position.
So the referee, Zeelenberg, with his arm up in the air, the delayed penalty on the play. That first penalty is now over with, the one that saw the Indians with the power play. But the extra attacker to the floor for Coquitlam. They move the ball around. Here's Colin Doyle. Tries to get it over to Sanderson. It bounces off the boards into his stick. Walter takes the shot off the bar, I believe. And here comes a high sticking penalty. It'll be Colin Sinclair going to the penalty box.
Yeah, and Sinclair immediately came off the bench, knew he'd been nailed, and once again, not a smart penalty. Yeah, he was roughed up a little bit on the play, but hey, last time I looked, this was a rough game. You're going to get roughed up, and you can't take those silly retaliation penalties. A good look there at Dwayne Zeelenberg, and there's Sinclair heading for the penalty box, and good call by Zeelenberg, and once again, an undisciplined penalty by the Indians. We've seen both teams take at least 2 undisciplined penalties so far tonight. We'll see it coming up here. There's a little bit of rough stuff there, and bang, right across the back of the head. And right, once again, I'll tell you, you catch Zeelenberg, the referee, on a bad mood, that could very easily be a major penalty. You know, against the player not in possession of the ball and clearly across the back of the neck. You know, very lucky he's only got 2 minutes for that.
I got a side for Sinclair on the play. Bedell got him high with the stick in the face area. And the stick came up high, but usually that's when you get caught on the retaliation, and that time Zeelenberg did catch Colin Sinclair.
I'll tell you, the beautiful thing about this game is this, with the amount of physical contact there is, I guess it's a beautiful thing, is that there are so many opportunities to make up for a so-called something like that bit of a high stick later in the game without taking a penalty. And hey, Sinclair's could have had 45 minutes to make up for that indiscretion on the part of the Coquitlam player. Chose to take the retaliation penalty.
Doyle had a chance in front of that Coquitlam possession. 36 seconds gone in the penalty. And now the Indians will do some penalty killing, and they give up the ball right away as Coquitlam gets the ball. That's number 10, Darren Much. Much turns it over to the power play team, and here it is Josh Sanderson leading the rush of Doyle, Stroop, Hurd, and Brunch. Sanderson now takes a slash, holds onto the ball over for Brunch. Now over to Hurd, the league leader in points. And that's saved, and the rebound easily handled by Metke, and the Indians give up the ball right away.
Yeah, that's twice in a row they've done that, and this time, you know, Jones didn't even make a move for that. Paul Jones didn't even make a move for that bounce pass from Metke. But by the same token, that's one of the toughest catches to make, is on a bounce pass like that. But the Indians got do a much better job of penalty killing than that.
Brunch takes a shot. There you see Metke. He looks like he took it high underneath the mask area, and quickly gets himself fixed and back into the play, and the play continues with 25 seconds to go in the penalty. 10:30 left in this second period of play, a 2-2 tie here at the Sports Center. Ball, Klein picks off a loose pass. He's off to the races. Here goes Klein. He's got a man chasing him and gets the shot away, and a good save by Metke as he got the left foot out to take that one away from Klein. Josh Sanderson battles for a loose ball with Paul Jones. Sanderson wants a minor interference call. Not going to get it. Here come the Indians. Jones gets hammered by Much. Sinclair comes up to pick the loose ball. Now Richard. Off to the right. Ooh, a chance for Doug Hill. Couldn't pick it up. Sinclair quickly over the other side for Richard. The rebound is there for Kurt Molosky, and he shoots it wide, and Coquitlam get possession.
Yeah, and some good offense shown there by North Shore, but once again, they didn't get really more than one decent shot out of all that, and you've got to get more than one good shot in a thrust like that against Elliott to be successful.
Chris Bryan, who opened the scoring in this game tonight, takes a shot. Metke the save. Now Kurt Molosky. Quickly up to 4 for Brad MacArthur. MacArthur sends it over for Meridian. It hits the top of the boards and into the stick of Colby Rope of the Adanacs. Coquitlam in a first place tie with the Victoria Shamrocks. Both teams with 36 points. Off the end here, into the far corners. You heard a comment from the North Shore bench that Dwight is playing good tonight. That would be the goaltender, Metke. Now MacArthur up for the Indians. He'll bring the ball up. Tim O'Brien is there as well. Singbill's on the floor. We'll have to watch those two players. O'Brien will off the screen, but here's the ball held by number 40. That's Mike Meridian. Meridian lets that shot go. It goes off the goaltender, comes all the way down for Metke, and he'll get a new 30. There's O'Brien on your screen, 77, waits for a ball, gets it from Metke. Metke over to Kevin Biggs. Now Biggs takes the ball from O'Brien, I should say. Now Derek Molosky. O'Brien and Mitchell mix it up in front. Loose ball in front. Can't getting it. The ball is Biggs. Can't getting it. You know.
Can't getting it. Okay. Can't getting the ball there. I'll tell you, that's just a horrible offensive shift for the North Shore Indians. And if they're playing offense-defense, I'm not quite sure which group is playing offense. We really haven't seen much of it tonight.
8 minutes left in the second period here. Coquitlam takes the shot. In this 2-2 tie at the Coquitlam Sports Center, our Molson X Lacrosse Game of the Week. A long pass for Tracy Kaluski. Can't pick it up. And Walter does. I'm Terry Murray with Dave Evans, Kevin Cady, and our directors John Strassel, Mr. Dave Dick, and the rest of our Rogers Sports crew here bringing you this game on Rogers Sports as well as CTV Sportsnet from the Coquitlam Sports Center in this 2-2 tie. And a play stoppage, I believe. The net is knocked off his supports, and they'll fix that, and they'll get back to play with 7:30 to go in the second period.
I think North Shore's got to settle down, spread the floor out a lot more. Last offensive shift that was so ineffective, they kept kind of everybody off to one side of the floor, and there was no room to make moves, to set pick and rolls, to do anything like that off the ball. Never mind for the ball carrier to try and go one-on-one.
Kurt Malosky lost the ball into the stick of Singbill. He's got 2 men with him. Walter on his left. Singbill takes the shot, scores! Terrell Singbill! Singbill gets his first goal this season, and his players like that one.
And Daryl Singbill, the last person you'd like to see, or you'd expect to see scoring on a goal on a breakaway like that. Here, he looks like a deer stuck in the headlight. He doesn't know what to do. He says, I don't want to shoot. I don't want to. Oh my God, I have to shoot. Ah! And look where he puts it. Perfect spot, about halfway up off the elbow. The most surprised person in the house, Daryl Singbill right there. But what a great job. And I'll tell you, when you're going to win championships, you've got to get goals from unexpected sources. And a definitive unexpected source.
I don't think people are realizing that they're saying these things. They're just part of their everyday vocabulary.
Then some people would say that, hey, you black girl, you can't play with me.
Cross-cultural. Take an interest in your world.
Did you know Rogers Community Television production mobiles cover local events in your community? From baseball games and major event coverage to political forums and neighborhood festivals. Rogers Community Television. Get to know us.
Local, live, and interactive. This is Rogers Community Television.
If anything can give a team a lift, it's a goal by Daryl Singbill for the Coquitlam Adanacs. We'll have to watch to see if Coquitlam, they were definitely excited. To see if the Adanacs can get this offense to roll. And there's Daryl Singbill on your screen. And a player that has been talked about in tonight's broadcast, especially in having a couple of scraps with Tim O'Brien, the tough guy in this league. And that time, and he's still just gleaming from ear to ear with that one. Here
it is again. Here's the deer caught in the headlights. What do I do? What do I do? Oh, I'll let her go. And a nice shot by Singbill, and you can see obviously Metke and the North Shore defense saying, "Hey, let him shoot, let him shoot." Well, maybe they won't next time.
Here's Sanderson quickly down the floor, holds on it over for Doyle, and Doyle in the crease gets nailed for the crease violation. Singbill, you got to tell him, Dave, to put his arms up when he scores. At least to show some excitement. I'm sure he was happy though.
It's something he hasn't had much practice at, that's for sure. So wasn't exactly sure how to react. It's kind of like when a defensive lineman gets a touchdown in football and they don't know what the heck to do.
Just go for the oxygen mask, really.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Here's Tracy Kaluski, falls to the floor, gets back up. Casey Zapp knocks the ball loose. And they battle for the loose ball. Now here's the Rocket. That's Todd Richard. Dishes it off from Meridian 4 in the shot clock. They'll try to get the shot away. Instead, a spectator gets that ball as it goes out of play. Quickly down the floor. Doyle gets nailed by Metke, and that one hurt Doyle as he didn't expect the goalie to be there. But Metke doing some checking there. Then again, I've talked about that before. The goaltender in this game of lacrosse comes out of his crease. He's fair game, and that's another reason why the goaltender, well, if you're fair game, you can dish it out as well. And that time Metke laid out the body check.
Exactly, and it would have been not a bad play by Metke. It would have been a great play if Doyle had caught that pass, because he would have shut down a good scoring opportunity and probably gotten the ball. But unfortunately, Doyle missed the pass, turns into an interference call. But a smart move by Metke.
Here's John Wilson sporting the knee brace over for Stroop. Wilson had a couple injuries this year. Takes a shot right on Metke to save. John Wilson doing a good job to take the pass from Stroop. Quickly down the floor here is an opportunity for MacArthur. Takes a shot, scores! Brad MacArthur gets his second goal of the game, the second time he's tied it up. We're tied at 3.
Yeah, great job by Brad MacArthur. Here's a guy, we talked about him a bit earlier. Came out of the East, noted as a real good face-off man, but I'll tell you, this guy can play lacrosse. He's an excellent offensive player. Here's a super shot down low on the glove side of Dallas Eliak, or pardon me, low on the stick side of Dallas Eliak. And just a great finish by Brad MacArthur. And one of the things when you're playing this offensive-defensive system, anybody out there who by now knows I don't like the offensive-defensive system because all I've done is badmouth it. But a guy like Brad MacArthur, who's got good skills offensively, good solid defensively, where do you play him? On offense or on defense? And guys like that kind of get hurt a little bit by that type of system.
MacArthur, his 9th goal of the season. The goaltender Metke picks up an assist in his 3-3 tie. Now Chris Bryde takes a shot right on as the shot clock ran down. And Metke holds on to the ball. 5 minutes, 20 seconds to go in this second period of play, a 3-3 tie. MacArthur with 2 and Katanchuk for North Shore. Bryde, Singbeil, and Sanderson, the goal scorers for Coquitlam. 14 on the shot clock for Kurt Malosky. Right in the save by Eliak as Kurt Malosky got in tight to the right. Now with the ball, Randy Jones. Far boards that pass, tried to get through to Malosky. Now Sinclair takes a shot. Elliott comes out and stops that one and lands down on his keister to hold that one.
Oh, what a great look by Kurt Malosky, just dishing that quickly over to Sinclair. And Elliott came up with a huge save, probably his biggest save of the night.
Now for Brunch. Far side, Coquitlam controls now on the offense on the floor. That was Santos moving it for Klein. Here's Bob Klein. Over for Walder, tried to get it back for Klein. Klein's open in front, gets the ball, takes a one-timer and just misses the target. The last second, he was able to get open and Walder found him. 4 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the second period, a 3-3 tie.
Yeah, we talked about this probably being a low-scoring game with the outstanding goaltending, and it has been outstanding goaltending, but defense on both teams has certainly dominated. Here we are, 4 minutes remaining in the second period, and only 6 goals scored.
Here's Richard. Left face-off circle, holds the ball. He's got Klein to check him. Klein's a tough customer. That one goes first. Richard wide open again. Oh, and he had a little opening there on the right side. Couldn't get it past the goaltender, Elliott. Derek Malosky now dishes it off. The shot clock will run down. It'll be Coquitlam ball with 3:55 to go in this period.
And Richard, right place at the right time. The ball just kind of rolled loose. He had tons of time, but what he didn't do, as we see a little bit of fisticuffs, or not fisticuffs, but swatting each other between Hill and Walder. What he didn't do was step across. His feet stayed planted. Sure, he faked a lot with his stick. Well, he's not going to go for those. You've got to step across, force the goaltender to make a move.
Again, Colin Doyle tries this quick spin around there, taking the pass from Sanderson. He likes that right crease position, and Doyle that time got open again, but the goaltender, Metke, wins that battle one more time. 3:35 to go in the second period. Our Molson X Lacrosse Game of the Week from the Coquitlam Sports Center. We'll see the same North Shore Indians next week as they face the Burnaby Lakers. That could be a mean-nothing game. It could be a huge game. North Shore in the hunt for a playoff spot. Was it 0 for 6 at the beginning of the year for North Shore?
0 for 7, I think, beginning of the year, but 6-7, whatever. They've played very, very well. They're over 500 in the last 2/3 of the season. And as you say, that could be a nothing game Friday, or it could very easily be their whole season coming down to one game.
Sanderson off for Linton, the shot. Goaltender turns to the side. Kevin Linton picks his own rebound up. Errant pass in front of the net is picked up by Brad MacArthur. He's looking for his 3rd goal of the night. He's got a man breaking on the right side. Goes to him. That's Derek Malosky. Takes a shot. A hard one. Elliott makes the save right into the stick-up player Mitchell. Bounce pass up for Sanderson on a breakaway. Josh Sanderson right in a goal. Olsen scores!
Great goal by Josh Sanderson and a great job by Mitchell to find him up floor. And perhaps the greatest thing of the whole thing was Sanderson waiting up there, knowing that North Shore was coming back on transition. For him to get back on defense, really, he just wouldn't have got there in time. Here's the look by Mitchell. Nice bounce patch up to Sanderson. I watch Sanderson's patience here. He comes in. There's one little shoulder fake, another fake, another fake. Metke doesn't really go for it. Finally gets him up off the ground. Bounces it between Mecke's legs. In the air. Very, very close to stepping in the crease, but a great job by Josh Sanderson. That's why I think he's got to be the Rookie of the Year this year. Plays like that.
Second goal of the game First one was on a power play, but this one is 33rd of the year. As you look at Josh Sanderson, our candidate up here for the Rookie of the Year. You look all over the league, Dave. There's all sorts of players. We said a year ago it was going to be a good draft. Now those players are playing, and there's a lot of them that are up for that Rookie of the Year candidate.
Oh, yeah, it's just a tremendous group of rookies this year.
And with that, we're going to take a break and come back with more WLA action in a moment. Josh Sanderson's second goal of the game has given Coquitlam a 4-3 lead. They've never trailed in this game. They take the lead one more time. That goal at 17:20. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this second period. Far side Walder for Brunch. Brunch squeezes his way forward, holds the ball, takes a shot, and Metke gets the right arm on it. Loose ball on the far side for Katanchuk. A member of the Philadelphia Wings, one of his teammates at the other end in goal for the Coquitlam Adanacs, Dallas Elliott.
Yeah, and Katanchuk, after winning the scoring championship out here last year, of course, had a very, very disappointing season with the Wings. Just couldn't get things going back there. Had an injury in training camp, and of course, somebody like him who relies on quickness so much, that's got to hurt. But we talk about him having an off year. He's still had a pretty good year. He's got pretty good numbers, but really, I think one of the worst things that could ever happen to Katanchuk is winning the scoring championship, because now he really thinks of himself more as a goal scorer than what he really is, and that's a good two-way player.
Klein gets a loose ball and goes for Hurd. Coquitlam might have too many men on the floor there. Now the referee gets stomped on. North Shore wants a penalty. They got a definite argument about Coquitlam had about 6 players. They went from offense to defense, and the ball was quickly turned over to the stick of Bob Klein, who tried to hit Hurd with it quickly.
Yeah, the Adanacs got a break there, but realistically, none of those players were certainly involved in the play, so I guess they probably could have been called, but realistically, it wasn't a factor in the play.
And Stroop is going to draw a penalty here, or take a penalty, as Paul Jones doing the drawing on that one, and North Shore will get a chance in the power play. 1 minute left in this second period of play. The extra attacker on the floor. Biggs over for Moloski, takes a shot and goes out of play, and here comes the penalty to go against Dan Stroop. And you were talking about the too many men on the floor play, and often I see in sport, and sure, North Shore argued about it, but they had a right to argue. Maybe it was a good call, and I think you're right, it was a good call. None of those players really got involved, but now the referee is thinking the next closest thing is going to be a North Shore power play.
Yeah, and especially with the too many men on the floor, or the possible too many men on the floor, referee Bob Taylor got kind of caught up in the melee, and really, by the time he turned around, everything was back to normal. So that, as a referee, you sort of think, oh boy, I kind of messed that up. So like you say, the next close one that comes along, that wasn't really a close one. I mean, Stroop definitely held the player, but perhaps if this was a playoff game, maybe they would have let that go.
5th power play opportunity of the night for North Shore with under 1 minute, 40 seconds to go. Here's Kaluski. Errant pass in front of the net. Gobbled up by the quick Casey Zapp, and then he went and lost it. Now Katanchuk. Cross check to the floor. Does a great job to get up and get the loose ball over to a teammate. In front of the net, Kurt Moloski tries a shot. It's a weak one. Kaluski waits for it to come out of the crease area, but Coquitlam was there. That battle was won by Zapp. Klein up for Russ Hurd. Far boards. Hurd holds onto the ball with just 10 seconds left, so he'll go for last shot. Hurd with the ball in front for Wilson. Wilson can't pick it up. It goes errant, and we are not going to have time for another shot for North Shore. 2 seconds on the game clock. And that's it for the second period of play. A 4-3 Coquitlam Adanac lead. It was 2-1 Coquitlam after one period, and they come out with the lead in this period as well, and they will be shorthanded to start the third with 1:05 left in the North Shore Indian power play.
Yeah, there's a trend developing in this game. The end of the first period, Josh Sanderson scores the go-ahead goal. End of the second period, or near the end of the second period, Josh Sanderson scores. But if there's a key in this game so far, it's really the inability of the North Shore power play to accomplish much of anything. They've had, as you say, 4.5 opportunities at this point, and really they haven't scored. They haven't done much.
There's your goal scorer, or one of the goal scorers for Coquitlam in this period. Daryl Singville picking up his first goal of the season. And in a second, I'm going to send it down to Kevin Kane. He's with a coach from the Coquitlam Adanacs. It's got a tie on tonight. Kevin, what's going on down there?
Oh, I don't know, Terry. We'll ask Les about the tie a little bit later, but let's talk about the game plan coming into this one. The defense is solid. Was that something you want to work on tonight?
Actually, Kevin, the tie is because I just came from Darren Fridge, the Briards' wedding. But, yeah, it's a good defensive battle. We got Patty Coyle out of our lineup tonight, and the rest of the guys are tightening up the defense. And North Shore's playing some good defense, too, so it's a good defensive battle.
One thing that some people were concerned about was the team maybe looking ahead to the big game next week in Victoria. How are their minds? Are they on this one, and how did you keep them there?
Oh, no, I think Victoria's a long way away yet, so I think we're fairly focused on tonight's game.
And what can we expect in the third?
Oh, I think we're going to see a period much like the last two, quite frankly. Some tight defense, and, you know, it's going to be a low-scoring game tonight.
Good luck in the third, Coach.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Don't go away. We got lots more lacrosse for you right after this.
Have your say. Call the Rogers Community Television Viewer Response Line at 412-2656 or 850-5366.
It's taken over 25,000 years to develop. It's able to withstand thousands of pounds per square inch. It's the latest in exercise equipment, and you sit on it every day. Chair aerobics.
Good morning. Hi there, I'm Fiona Forbes.
And I'm Mike Eckford from Daytime. Are you busy right now?
You just relax in those fuzzy slippers and we'll give you some news, entertainment, what's going on around town.
Just remember Daytime on Rogers Community Television, live 10 a.m. Monday to Friday.
Hi, I'm Art Jones. What do Gary Bannerman, George Garrett, Darrell Duke, Barbara Maple, Tony Parsons, and Glenn Ringdahl all have in common? Why, they're all guests on Art Jones and Company, weekly right here on Rogers Community Television.
If a small group of people were deciding where spending cuts would happen in your community, would you want to know before it's too late? City Council coverage on Rogers Community Television. It's real, it's important, it's your life.
Vancouver is about arts, crime, transportation, democracy, culture, home, work, play, water, land, air, and more. It's a show about where we live, this region we call home. Greater Vancouver, watch it.
Celebrating, involving, and reflecting you. This is Rogers Community Television.
And back in Coquitlam, there's the score. The Adanacs on top of the Indians, a 4-3. I'm joined now by North Shore Indians player Brad MacArthur. 2 goals tonight. Brad, your thoughts on the contest so far?
Well, it's a defensive battle. We got to keep our eyes on a transition, the Adanacs, and try and keep their shots coming from the outside and keep Dwighty happy, and we got to get our goals off transition. So I think that's the keys to our game. It's a good defensive game. I like it.
Okay, now this has been a strange season for a lacrosse team. You guys have played some of your home games in the interior, Vernon and Kamloops, and Kelowna, and you've also just had players coming in throughout the whole season. You finally got a squad together like in the last 3 weeks. Tell us what it's been like for a player.
Well, at times frustrating. At times, you know, you seem like you're on top of the world. We came into Coquitlam a couple weeks ago, and you know, we were down 6-1. We came back and beat them. I think that was a real turning point for us, is going back and beating them by a couple goals. And that's frustrating. You got to go up to Kelowna sometimes. It's good atmosphere up there, though. You know, we go up there and we're ready to play. We played some good games up there. But I guess it's kind of, like I said, it's frustrating when you come in and there's different players in the lineup. You're not sure who's who, and you know, we got a different lineup every game. And you're right. Last couple of weeks, we finally put a lineup together, and this is what you see tonight. Is what you're pretty much going to get for the rest of the year. So.
And how close are you guys to forming a solid team spirit in the locker room?
Well, we've always had a good spirit. Roddy Jensen brings that to us. He's a good coach. He's a good motivator. And we've bonded well as a team. A lot of guys know each other from previous years. Maybe not the same teams, but we know each other's characteristics, our abilities, and our strong points and our weak points. So I think we've kind of keyed on each other and helped one another out. But it's a good dressing room atmosphere in there.
Okay, Brad, good luck in the third period and the rest of the way.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay. For you right after this.
Become an informed buyer by accessing the Better Business Bureau automated telephone system at 682-2711. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call the Better Business Bureau for pre-purchase information, business reliability reports, consumer business dispute resolution services, explanations of specific scams or frauds, charity reports, and marketplace tips. The Better Business Bureau is a nonprofit association of businesses dedicated to creating an educated and ethical marketplace. Shop the Better Business Bureau before you buy.
Looking for a program that gets you in touch with your community?
Takes you to all the great locations across the Lower Mainland.
Brings you the positive stories?
And introduces you to people you want to know.
Then you better get plugged in.
With a new program every Monday to Friday at 6:30 p.m.
Rogers Community Television keeps you in touch with your community. Did you know you can also stay up to date with the latest local, national, and international news from CKWX? Every weekday, Rogers brings you live news breaks at the top of the hour. Get to know us.
Celebrating, involving, and reflecting you. This is Rogers Community Television.
And welcome back to the Molson Export Lacrosse Game of the Week. 4-3, the Adanacs on top of the Indians. Let's join Dave and Terry now for their summary of the second and their call of third.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And in our second period there, Dave, we only saw 4 goals. We still have the same leader.
Yeah, almost a replay of the first period. The shots on goal, the face-offs, 5-5, very even. The shots on goal, 19-14, again in favor of the Adanacs. But once again, not that many real, what you'd call high percentage shots. The key, as I mentioned, look at the penalties. 6 penalties to the Adanacs, 2 for North Shore, but very few, nothing happening on the part of it. We're going to get a good look now at Sanderson's go-ahead goal. Pardon me, there's Sanderson's first goal. I'm sorry, the first goal on the power play. The great outside shot, super bounce shot to the top corner. Here's his second goal near the end of the second period. The breakaway, and look at the patience by Josh Sanderson. Waited, very close to that crease, but finally Metke committed, got up on his toes, and he bounced it between his legs. 2 super goals by Josh Sanderson, and as I say, great crop of rookies this year, but I think he's really taken over in most people's minds as the rookie of the year. The front runner early in the season, Caleb Toth, Victoria. I think Jason Clark, the newest Mr. Salmon Bellies, quietly has become an outstanding rookie in this league. Peter Morgan of the Salmon Bellies, somebody who's crept into the scene just in the last few weeks, is goaltender Devin DeLeap of Victoria. He's come on very strong, had a few excellent games, was the first star and the dominant player in our game a couple of weeks ago between Victoria and the Adanacs. So just a ton of rookies in the league in the running for that Rookie of the Year award.
And there you look at the North Shore Indians bench as you look at Dwight Metke heading back towards his net as he gets set for this third period. It'll be a North Shore Indian power play with 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in the penalty. That one to Dan Stroop of the Adanacs. And Coquitlam gets the face-off. Blair Mitchell wins another face-off for Coquitlam, and they'll kill some penalty time. Left side for Shaden Santos. Thought he was going to go for the front of the net, but they'll kill some more valuable penalty time with that 1-goal lead, leading 4-3. In our Molson X Lacrosse Game of the Week here from Coquitlam Sports Center. Now down to 38 seconds remaining in this penalty.
Excellent penalty killing of the Adanacs. Sanderson, Colin Doyle's had a good shift penalty killing. And almost negated the whole thing by taking a near-high sticking penalty there. But Sanderson, once again, outstanding killing penalties. He rags the ball while he's cocky. He doesn't mind taking a hit. He dishes the ball off well. Just a super little ball player.
And just 14 seconds left in the penalty. And a reminder, this period is brought to you by Sports View. Of course, Sports View is BC's own sports weekly. As they bring you this third period, there's a shot right on by Derek Molosky. Good save there. The rebound again. Elliott the save as 3 Indians battle for it. Stroop is back on the floor. He's going to get the ball on his right. His Zaff and Stroop will hold on to it. Take the shot right on. Metke the save. Stroop the rebound again. Metke is there. And we have the goaltender Metke taking a shot high, and Dwayne Zeelenberg stops the play. It'll be North Shore Indian ball, and Metke looks like he has an equipment problem, and he'll go to the bench and get that sorted out.
And right off the bat, 2 great saves. Here we see the second shot, and we just see it up there. It's hard to see from that shot exactly where he got it. I think he took it high, perhaps up on the neck area. He's going off for repairs.
The clock is running, Dave, as we this time out here. No one has noticed this but us up in the broadcast booth. Now they stop it at 18:26.
There it is there at 18:26, and it was at about, must have been about 15 seconds knocked off the clock there. And if somebody loses this in the last seconds of the game, they're going to be very upset when they see our broadcast and realize they lost a few seconds.
Dave, we've talked about the Man Cup out here this year, and there's the standings in Ontario.
Yeah, and for the first time in many years, an excellent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-team race. Even St. Catherine's still in the running there. But you've got Brooklyn certainly on top of the league, but Peterborough, Akwesasne, Brampton, and Six Nations all in the running for the final playoff spots. There you see the national rankings, and Brooklyn number 1 overall at 12-2. They've had an excellent year, and I think everybody expected Brampton, the defending Man Cup champions, to dominate the East. And Brooklyn's come on and had an excellent season.
Yeah, Brampton with a record of 9 wins and 8 losses. Just 125 goals against. They've struggled to get goals for. They're second worst in the league. Here's that chance by Stroop. And the rebound that clips Metke up high and causes this equipment problem. And the play was stopped. Maybe possibly because the net was knocked up at Sports. But here we go. Play is underway. They do not fix the clock, however. And play still continues. Here's Kurt Molosky in front. Loses control of the ball. And the Adanacs try to pick it up, and that's Darren Much.
Yeah, we'll have to file that away in the back of our minds, that clock situation for the end of the game, because if this game stays as close as it is and maybe time runs out for a team that's down a goal and they don't get a scoring opportunity and realize they lost 10 to 12 seconds in at the start of the third period, they won't be terribly happy about it.
Actually, it was 15 seconds. I do the math here, and 15 seconds it was lost after the whistle blew.
See, anything over 10 seconds, I have to take my shoes and socks off to start counting, so I just guess at 12.
Chris Bride is going to give up possession of the ball, and the Indians will have it. They are 0 for 5 on the power play tonight. 2 minutes and 20 seconds played in this third period of play, a 4-3 score. Here with the ball, here's Meridian. Meridian in front of the net, takes a shot, misses the target. Now here's a rebound. Derek Molosky with the ball, 15 on the shot clock. Molosky holds onto it. Goes for the front, still looks for an opportunity to shoot well off the target. And shot clock down to 5 seconds for North Shore. They'll lose possession of it. Coquitlam try to get it. And now Molosky gets it and throws it into the boards. And here comes a slashing penalty. I believe it's against North Shore. And a penalty to Tracy Kaluski. Will see North Shore short-handed.
Yeah, Kaluski gave a real good chop to Kevin Linton. They were roughing it up a little bit, pushing and shoving. Referee Dwayne Zeelenberg wisely let them just kind of push and shove. But finally, Stacey Kaluski gave Linton a real good chop right across the ankle, across the shin bone. And Linton came back with a bit of a half-hearted slash, but Kaluski this time, the instigator going off for the penalty instead of the retaliator, who in this case was Linton. But nonetheless, power play for the Adanacs.
2 minutes, 45 seconds gone in this third period of play. In this power play opportunity, number 3 on the night. They're 1 for 2. Coquitlam deadly on the power play this year. Not sure of the percentage, but every time we're doing a TV game, it seems that they do score on a lot of opportunities. Doyle over for Hurt. Back for Doyle up top to the right for Brunch. Back for Doyle. Doyle holds onto it, takes a shot just off the target. Goes all the way back for the goaltender Elliott with 5 on the shot clock. He'll quickly turn it down the floor. And North Shore will get the ball and kill some penalty time.
Both teams seem to have a problem establishing who the point man on their power play is going to be. We've seen Molosky and Meridian both play up there for North Shore. We now have Colin Doyle playing up top there for the Adanacs. We've seen Sanderson up there tonight, or not tonight. We've seen Stroop up there tonight. They really have to get their minds made up as to who's going to play that vital point position on their power plays, both teams.
Kurt Molosky dishes it off for Colin Sinclair. Molosky's open in front of that breakaway. Scores! Kurt Molosky. They move the ball around beautifully, and Molosky gets the ball back as Sinclair and his brother Derek pass it to him, and it's a 4-4 tie, a shorthanded marker.
And what a horrendous defensive breakdown on the part of the Adanacs, because Molosky just kind of cruised back there. We'll see it coming up here. There's Sinclair. There's the guys coming out, and Blair Mitchell just left Kurt Molosky, and what he was doing, I'm not exactly sure. It's funny, I just written his number down here as a potential star of the game. I will be scratching that off in a hurry, because I guess what he tried to do was come out and think he was in a position to double team, so a lack of communication all around by the Adanacs ends up in Kurt Molosky getting a freebie almost.
Shorthanded is 36th goal of the year for Kurt Molosky, a big one that ties this game up at 4. 40 seconds remains in the penalty. There's a chance for Sanderson, just lets it rip, just wide. Now Sanderson in the right corner for Brunch. Brunch over for Doyle. Doyle holds on to it, over for Hurd. Now Hurd can't control the ball. Still battling for a loose ball. 15 on the shot clock, doesn't matter, it goes into the stick of Paul Jones. Jones killing some penalty time, dishes it back for Sinclair to Kurt Molosky. The goal scorer, shorthanded, has this game tied at 4. Our Molson X Lacrosse game of the week from the Coquitlam Sports Center. As Derek Molosky dishes it over to Sinclair with 9 seconds left in the penalty. And they'll hold the ball, and 3 seconds from now, that 30-second shot clock will take effect as Kaluski is back to the floor.
And a huge shorthanded goal by Molosky. And you know, something I was going to say, if they got the power play back, something Colin Doyle's got to do if he's going to play the point. He's got to shoot the ball once in a while just to make himself a threat.
Now here's Mike Meridian, takes a shot off the target, off the end boards for Kaluski. 10 on the shot clock for Tracy Kaluski and the Indians. He's got a chance to move in front, bounces off a man, takes a shot up the bar, and a player, that was Derek Molosky on the goal line, thought that went in. He questioned for the referee. Here's an opportunity again. Richard gets the ball, bounces off his chest, right into the stick of Eliak.
What a super individual effort by Tracy Kaluski. Beat one man, then a second man. Almost put it behind Eliak, and maybe he did put it behind Eliak. If Derek Molosky gets a vote, as you say, maybe it was behind Eliak, but the referees are the ones you've got to convince.
5 minutes, 35 seconds played. A 4-4 tie here at the Sports Center in Coquitlam. As the goaltender Metke moves it up. Hey, we got a well-over lacrosse game coming up to you. Now, final 14 minutes here in our Molson X Lacrosse game of the week. Now Paul Jones. Jones with the ball, dishes it off for Katanchuk. Finds a man on the floor, that's Sinclair. Back to Paul Jones, in for Kurt Molosky. That's tied this game up. His shorthanded goal, his 36th of the season. Randy Jones over for Paul Jones. 3 on the shot clock, he gets some open room in front of the net, scores! Paul Jones gets the goal. And again, a breakdown by the Adanacs, and the Indians have their first lead of the night.
Yeah, for a team that's been playing such solid defense all night, 2 tremendous breakdowns on defense, and Paul Jones allowed just to walk in there. But to Jones's credit, he did a nice job one-on-one. He kept his stick up nice and high, put a great shot. Here it is right here. Look where his stick is up, nice and high, hides his stick, brings it up high. Now he's in shooting position, still up there, a bit of a fake, beats Blair Mitchell, and bang, puts it short side on Eliak. And a great job by Jones to pull that ball back to the short side after he had got Eliak moving a little bit from his right to his left.
So Paul Jones gets the lead, his 8th goal of the season.
The assist to number 34, Colin Sinclair. And to number 16, Randy Jones. Time of the goal, 6:13.
Kevin Biggs gets a loose ball. It goes in onto the mesh. And Coquitlam will get possession. They now trail 5-4, their first deficit of the game. Coquitlam with just 1 game remaining. That will be in Victoria next week against the Shamrocks. A big game there. Will probably decide first place.
But almost has to, I think. If I've done my math correctly, no matter what happens tonight, even if the North Shore Indians should win this one tonight, and Victoria wins their game next week, it's going to put Victoria 2 points ahead of the Adanacs. But whoever wins that game in Victoria is going to win the season series, and thereby take first place.
So Randy Jones and Colin Sinclair in on that last goal. Sinclair picks up his 2nd assist on the night. Paul Jones is 8th at 6:13. With 12:40 to go now in this 3rd period of play. With 15 on the shot clock, and the Coquitlam Adanacs now lose possession. And Dwight Metke behind his net for North Shore will bring the ball up. Metke in on the play now here up for Kaluski. Kaluski joins the play now with 7 minutes and 40 seconds played in this 3rd period. Here's Maluski with his team out in front, 5-4, going one-on-one on Doyle. Stroop in there to force a pass, which happens. And Kevin Biggs can't pick it up. Now he does so in the right corner, up top for Meridian. And Meridian's shot goes off the target. The shot clock runs down to 0.
Yeah, and as well as Tracy Kaluski's played tonight, he's really gotten into this rut of trying to go one-on-one on almost every possession. And, the Adanacs catch on to that very, very quickly. And they know he's going to go one-on-one. They try and shut that down. And really what he's doing is just running that shot clock down without getting some ball movement going.
Chance in front for Blair Mitchell. Takes a shot. It bounces off a leg. Mitchell goes after a loose ball in the right corner. And the goaltender Metke comes out behind his net to grab it. With 8 minutes and 15 seconds played in this third period, here comes the Indians again with that lead. Randy Jones with the ball. Jones, number 16, in front of the net for Sinclair, and he can't pick it up. And back the other way is Colby Rope, and Kurt Miloski is holding his hand there as a minor interference play stops the play. Coquitlam will give up possession. And there's Sinclair on your screen, is now Kurt Miloski one-on-one with Casey Zapp. And Miloski took a slash there, and he didn't like that, but he's right back into the play. Now behind the net, Paul Jones with the ball. He, again, is another former New Westminster Salmon Bellies. It's been a few years, though, since he's been in New West. Now Miloski takes the shot, and hey, he's a former New West Salmon Belly as well.
There's a lot of former New Westminster Salmon Bellies on that North Shore team. Miloski, both Miloskis, Paul Jones, Randy Jones, Colin Sinclair. It's the North Shore Salmon Bellies on the floor tonight. Dougie Hill.
Left corner in the ball is Downey. Pushed it off. Now they move it around in front. Santos ties the game up. Caden Santos takes a pass from Bob Klein. And this game is tied at 5.
Nice job by Santos getting open off the ball. Just quick stick that ball and just into the top corner behind Dwight Metke. There's a look at Shaden Santos. We're going to have a good look at this. Walter. The ball goes down, and here comes Santos right there. Dougie Hill turns his head to look at the ball. Young kids out there, one of the worst things you can do when you're playing defense off the ball is turn your head like that to get a look at the ball position. Because as soon as he turned his head, you can see right there, Santos went right by him. As soon as he got a step on him, he might as well have had a mile on him.
So again, this game is tied at 5. 10 minutes